everyone. Welcome to our wonderful get together on a Sunday morning for you to receive some wonderful mojo and some energy and energize yourself and your spirit and your consciousness and your psyche for the weeks ahead, because I attempt to do for you an energizer twice a month, and I apologize for the absence in April, but there were many weekend commitments that I had to honor. So this month I'll commit again to giving you 2 energizers for the month. So today I want to offer you some food for thought. And I call this space the Cosmic Kitchen, the space that I share with everyone. We come together in the Cosmic Kitchen because we share some soul food. Because food is a very important aspect on the earth. On this earth plane, food is a very important aspect of our daily life, of our continuation, not only for us, but for plants, for animals. Everything on this earth needs food. And it's best for us to go and nourish our souls first with soul food from the Cosmic Kitchen before we actually embark on nourishing our earthly life. Because what we've done also is we've become so conditioned to nourishing our earthly life with everything but the food that we need to prosper. And that is why there is such large parts of our earth that is in famine, and that people just don't, there is just no food to eat because of the way that we are managing the soul food, the food for the soul, the food for the psyche, the food for the heart, the food for the thinking. So the cosmos invites us, each one of us, to benefit and to prosper from it. The cosmos is not a place where you come and you have to sacrifice and pay and suffer. And the cosmos is a place of vastness, of vast, infinite opportunities, of just so much to enjoy. So we start the session today by giving permission, because your permission is needed. Your permission is needed. Why? Because you are an authority. You must understand how important you are. Why are you important? Not because I'm saying this for you to feel good. This is not a feel-good place. This is a place of excellence, of up vibe, of aliveness, of authenticity, of living life with a zest, with an enthusiasm, with a wondrous feeling of, I want to be more. I want to become more of my own potential and to know it and to live it. And for that, you need permission, because everything on this earth works with authority. Once again, no one is exempt. Not the animal kingdom, not the plant kingdom, not the human race. We're all subject to authority. And if you ask me how does authority work in the plant kingdom, I invite you to go and have a look for yourself and to see that authority also is present in the plant kingdom. So I apologize for the darkness here today, but we are load shedding. So it is unfortunate that I need to speak to you from my dark office. At least I have a pyramid of light over here. It's over the shoulder. I always got the two around. It's on the shoulder. We've got a pyramid of light and a little angel that's blowing the trumpet of truth for us, so that we can all be blessed by it today. So let's start with giving permission. And now I've given you a little bit of background as to how important your permission is, not just for this moment, but for every day of your life, to give permission for the things that you wish to see happen in your life. So, and you need to say it, because we take so much for granted. Oh, that life must know. No, life doesn't know. Life is dealing with so many millions, billions, trillions of requests, of untold, uncountable requests every nanosecond. And it can't assume what your request for your life is. You've got to tell it with your permission, because we are guided to say, command ye, ask, and you shall receive. but you also need to command. So I give myself permission, and it's very good to say it so that you can hear it. I give myself permission to receive my highest good, because that's a nice umbrella. You know, I had a wonderful helper once, and she said to me, man, some things in life is like an umbrella. It can rain so hard, but nothing will get through the umbrella. So that's how this works. It's like an umbrella. Give myself permission to receive, because you're giving yourself permission to receive. It must come to you, and it can't come to you if you're not available to receive. So I give myself permission to receive my highest good, or you can say my utmost highest best, because that then also involves that you must give your best. If you give permission for your utmost highest best, then life is going to observe you, because all of life is a mirror, and it's going to look whether you are giving your utmost highest best, because what you put out, you get back. What you sow, you reap. Another universal creation law that we need to know and honor here on earth for our lives to work. I give myself permission, you give permission for things to happen. And when you honor that, because it's not my rule, that is my assignment in this life. I have come to be the mirror of truth for you. And the mirror of truth, not because I say this is what it is for me, the mirror of truth, because that was the way it was created. And that is the way it was before we arrived here. So the mirror of truth will always be eternal. Those laws have not changed on our earth since the very beginning. Just like the water that you've showered or bathed in this morning or last night, and the waters that run over your skin is the waters that have been on the earth for billions and billions of years. So that is how it is, and it's a wonderful, wonderful privilege to be able to feel water, to feel eternity on your skin every day. But we don't think of it like that, because our thinking have been minimized and reduced and reduced and reduced, because we were raised with negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement. Someone's microphone is on. Can I just ask you to check if it's yours, and just kindly switch it off for me, please? Because I really don't know where I'm going to look for it now, and I don't want to interrupt my thinking process. So kindly just switch off your mic for me, so kindly. So permission is the words that you express, that you speak over your life every day. And the things that you speak over your life every day is the things that you're going to live. Why? Because it's the way it works here. Everything is a mirror. And everything that you do is reflected in the mirror back to you. So you can't expect the mirror to smile for you if you're going to be walking around with a sour face. You know, I'm not really, you know. Did you ever think that I can look that ugly when I pull an ugly face? Imagine, just go pull an ugly face in the mirror a few times and see how terrible you look. No, we're not meant. Your face is not for yourself. It's for other people. Don't pull such an ugly face and walk around moping all day long. Get some mojo here this morning. And when you leave here from the session, go and feel a bit upvibed, you know, like you're really ready to do this thing. And you've been doing it all along. Why not do it with pleasure and with, you know, not so much seeking pleasure, but pleasurable. It's nice. It feels good. It's wonderful to experience it. That's the kind of mirror you want to create for yourself. And when that permission does not happen the way you think, it never happens the way you think. Don't give permission with an expectation of what it's going to be like. It doesn't work like that here. So be kind to yourself and give yourself permission to be pleasantly surprised. What does it mean to be surprised? It means that you don't know what's going to happen next. But what happens next is lekker. It's wonderful. It feels yummy. And that's what I think you should know. Is you should know that you are allowed to have those good experiences, to feel that pleasure in your body, to enjoy yourself, to have fun. You are allowed. Because most of us grew up with such negative reinforcement that said that if you enjoy yourself in life, you are not being responsible. Because that was the fear with which the words were expressed on your life. It was spoken over your life, not because of any malice or ill meaning or bad thoughts, because it was a caring intent. And the caring intent was meant to teach you not to just look for pleasure and fun and not be self-sufficient. You need to be self-sufficient. You need to be able to look after and take care of your own life. That's how it works here. In nature, if there's an animal that cannot fend for itself, that cannot feed itself, that cannot run with herd, that isn't able to make its own life work, it gets eaten. It's removed. Mother Nature removes it from the equation because it's a burden. And if your life is going to be a burden on the system in whichever way you choose, because I'm not here to judge you and I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm here to show you how it works. And you need to apply the way that the life has been created on this planet where you are now living, and you need to surrender to that. You can't go into rebelliousness of it because it really doesn't care if you want to rebel against it. The merits of rebelliousness is wonderful. I was a rebel my entire life. But it's a path of great suffering. When you are a rebel, you're going to suffer because you're going against the basic laws of creation. I'm not talking here about being a doormat or subjecting yourself to situations and things which is inhuman, which is disrespectful, which is humiliating. We're not talking here about being in servitude of anything where you trampled upon or where you disrespected, where your human rights are violated. No, but you must understand that in order to be part of rights, in order to be able to entitle yourself to any form of right, you must earn it. And you must earn it by your own permission, by your own self-sufficiency, by the contribution that you're making to the bigger system. And if you're not contributing to the bigger system at this stage of the epoch of time, you are going to be removed. So people who are sitting back waiting for things to happen, I've been unemployed for 3 years, but I'm waiting for this opportunity because it's going to make me wealthy. No, that's not the way it works. You need to remain self-sufficient even if you're waiting for great new opportunities to come your way. If you're going to be a passenger, what is a passenger? A passenger is making use of a mode of movement that is provided for them. And most passengers these days don't want to pay for the movement. They just want to get on the bus and it must be free. No self-sufficiency. And those very people are the people who want life to make them very wealthy and very responsible and make them great authorities in their field, in their own, because they know their own potential. But they do nothing with it because they're waiting for someone else to make their potential happen for them. And then the whole system, the whole mechanism, if you want, this globe that we call our earth, becomes burdened. Because it has to carry. You give 100%. Now the next person gives 10%. Now you need to give 190% to make up for this person's 10%. Because the system doesn't care where the 100% is going to come from. It wants 100% in order to continue. So it means that 190% that you now need to give, let's say, or 170%, now there's another person over there that gives only 30% and you've got to give another 70%. And so it goes. Eventually, certain individuals, certain organizations, the government, become so overloaded with carrying all these others that are not self-sufficient, that are not contributing to the system. And it's not about work creation. It's not about creating jobs. It's about you exploiting and not contributing the way that you should. Your 100% is not on the table. And it's a good thing for you to give permission today to say, I give myself permission to live with my 100% on the table every day. And your 100% is not always going to look the same. Don't think now ahead and think, oh my God, how am I supposed to do 100% every day? Some days it's just upside down. Of course, you're living on earth. It's a place of great challenges. It's a cesspit. It's a penal colony where, the worst of the worst of the worst is hanging out. Because the energy here is so gross and so low in vibration that it entertains such presences. And you are here as an energy, as a potential, as a field of consciousness that is holding all of that lower vibration, that stuff that you have to make up for. You are carrying that. In order for the system to continue, it has to have that. It's not about accusing someone or blaming someone or saying you, because 3 fingers are pointing back at me. Huh? You. 4, actually, if I count my thumbs. The buck stops with me. Because I need to know that my contribution and the choices that I make every day and the permission that I give every day is important. It counts. It's making a contribution to this whole system that we call our earth to work. You, everyone. And that's why I'm so grateful that you've come to sit with me this morning, because it's the people that know that come and sit and listen to an old woman like me. And when I call myself an old woman, it's not because I think that I'm biologically old. No. I'm a very, very old woman. I think of myself as the eternal sacred mother. And I come to serve the earth with truth when it needs it. Because we need to hear the truth. So when I prepared for the session today, your sacred space is a very strange phenomena. It makes your cup runneth over. And when it does, there's nothing you can do to stop it. So, while the sacred energy pours into my cup of life, I want to share with you a few ideas today that I collected from a man called Richard Carlson, which originally wrote the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Because that's really what we do. We sweat about small stuff. And we make ourselves so miserable and so ill and so desperate. And desperation always equals destruction. If you're going to put yourself into a state of desperation, you are going to make choices that's going to lead you to destruction. It's not if or maybe. It's not if or maybe. Excuse the noise on the recording because I'm scratching for some tissues here. So I apologize for the people that's going to listen to the recording. I don't like to record because I like people to be present, because that's when you receive the gift. Through your presence, not through a recording. Recording is a man-made excuse for absence. Yeah, it's a man-made excuse for absence. So let go of the idea. One of the first things that he says that I want to discuss with you is let go of the idea that gentle, relaxed people cannot be superachievers. No? One of the major reasons why so many of us remain hurried, frightened, even unnecessarily competitive, because some people get so competitive for all the wrong reasons. Even in relationships, I see how people that deeply and profoundly love each other, how they become so competitive with each other. It's it's at the level of tit for tat. One of the major reasons why so many of us remain hurried, frightened, and unnecessarily competitive is because of our fear that if we were to become more peaceful and more loving and more relaxed and more at ease with ourselves being in this life, we would suddenly stop achieving our goals, our dreams, our fantasies, because there's things that we wish for, that we yearn for in our life, that we want to achieve. Because when you achieve it, then you feel that deep sense of acclaim. It's a sense of peace and satisfaction that can only be experienced. And for me, acclaim, just like the word reverence, acclaim really encapsulates that. So I invite you to put this fear to rest right now, today. It's a lie. It's one of the negative reinforcements that you have been given since the day that you were born, with very good intent. But it is reversed. It is like a riddle in the mirror. Not only is it a riddle because you don't understand it, you've got to think about it. It doesn't give you the facts directly. It's a riddle. It's left for your own interpretation. That's how it communicates here. It's like a riddle because it's so backward. And now you live this lie. And what is the lie? That gentle, relaxed, and peaceful people that is enjoying a wonderful, satisfying, exhilarating, zesty, wondrous, I don't even have enough adjectives, life cannot be superachievers. Why not? Why not? To be a superachiever doesn't mean that you've got to run the Comrades marathon every 2 days, or at least once a week. No, it doesn't work like that. Look at Elon Musk. Does he look to you like he's a stressed out dude? And he's like, on his wits' end and sitting on the precipice every day and, dreading the fact that he's got to run another Comrades today? No way. Superachievers are chilled. They love every second of their life. And I invite you to now put this fear to rest right now and give yourself permission. I give myself permission to release the need to be anxious and full of panic in order to achieve. I give myself permission to let go, to refuse, to banish, to dispel the need for crisis and chaos in my life. I give myself permission to have a wonderful life where everything serves me, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to have stuff that's going to go wrong. Because it's not wrong. It's teaching you something. It shows you somewhere you are stuck. Do something different. Change. That's why change is an absolute, yeah. When you are fearful or frantic, you immobilize yourself from your potential. You disconnect from your potential. You disconnect from the things that you enjoy, that makes you feel good, your highest good. Not to mention your capacity for any enjoyment. Fearful and or frantic kills it. And when something's killed, it's no more. It's finished. It's gone. It's dust to dust. When you are fearful or frantic, you immobilize yourself from your potential, not to mention your capacity for any enjoyment. When you have what you want, which is inner peace, when you have what you want, which is inner peace, how do you get inner peace? You feel satisfied. You feel it's enough. You feel blissful. You feel deeply grateful. You are so connected with the way that everything works here. You are in the flow of creation itself. That's where you want to live. Really. And it's effortless. It's effortless to live there. When you have what you want, which is only inner peace, not this list of stuff that you think that you're lacking, that you should still be getting, and then you'll be happy. No. When you have what you want, which is firstly inner peace, and life demands of you to be at inner peace wherever you find yourself because you've put yourself there. You need to own your life. This thing about that you, in order to be a super achiever, that you can't be relaxed. Look at how it relates to this. Because you choose to be fearful and frantic because you don't like what's happening around you. It's not your picture. And when it's not your picture, you become fearful and frantic and unhappy and absolutely despairing desperation. That's the word I'm looking for. Despairing desperation. That you think yourself into such a tiz about everything that's not working for you, that your life becomes an absolute nightmare. When you have the capacity to shift out of fearful and frantic because you are immobilizing your potential, nothing's going to work because there's disconnect with some vital aspects of yourself because you're unhappy. I have a secret for you. This place, this earth, is a place of unhappiness because of the context that we give the things that life show us. The things that life show us is a context. The things that life show us is the concept. You get lots of concepts. And with that concept, life is waiting to see what context you are going to give it. The context that you give it is the meaning. The meaning is going to direct the way that you're going to think about the situation because you first of all see the meaning. If the thing that you're looking at does not represent meaning for you, then you go down. Now, it's not necessary to take a step into the basement. You don't have to take a step into the basement when here on earth you see things that you don't like. Because I have news for you. You are going to be seeing things that you don't like more and more and more every day. Because the earth is on its way to the basement. Because of the way people give context to the concepts that life is showing them. Everyone is in the same place of complain and moan and blame and discontent and displeased and this ad infinitum. Especially disappointment. What does the word say? You are disengaging yourself from appointment with life. We don't have the luxury anymore on planet Earth to go into pity parties with ourselves and to just do things. For instance, just resigning from your job because you've had enough. You don't resign from a job today in the times that we're living in without having another job to go to, because that is totally irresponsible. That's what irresponsible means. Because now there's a very good chance that you are not going to be able to be self-sufficient. And your self-sufficiency is going to cost you big time. The loss of self-sufficiency is a price that takes you years to recover from. I know, I've been there. At the age of 50, I was asked to give up everything that I've worked for. Everything. I walked out with $30 in my wallet and a few pieces of furniture on the back of a trailer. I lost everything I worked for. Cancel that thought. I'm always reminded not to say that I lost it. I agreed to give it up because there was so much more and so much better waiting for me. That was the first time that I resigned from a job without another job to go to. And I lost everything I worked for. My home, my Olympic-sized swimming pool, my double-story home, my executive life, my self-sufficiency. I've been self-sufficient since I was 17 years old. And when I gave up my job like that, I lost my self-sufficiency. And I made desperate decisions that cost me in a huge way. Or that's how it seemed. But it wasn't. Because now if I look back, so much of the experience and of what I'm able to share with you today in what I present and what I offer you to share with me is based on life experience, on things that I've lived, not things that I've read in a book somewhere or studied at university. I actually know how it works here on earth, because that's more important than intelligence. You need to know how the earth itself functions in order for you to have a successful relatedness with what you're going to experience every day. You must understand, if you like. It's not a word that I favor, because the need to understand something limits it. But you must understand how the basic laws of creation works. And for that, you need to come and sit here with me on a Sunday morning for 2 hours a month. Just to listen, and I'm just going to plant some seeds for you so that you can give it a different context. Because if you take the concept that life is showing you and you give it a new context, the context with an X, C-O-N-T-E-X-T. Text is a very significant word in our life at present. Computer programming is referred to as text. It's a text that you're writing that is understood by a system. Context. You've got to give the concept the proper context. And I haven't heard this from anybody on earth. I haven't read it in any book. This is the way I interpret life. Concept becomes context. And context becomes conduct, the way you behave. So if you take conduct and the way you behave, look at the word, the way you have in life. Behave. What you're being is what you're going to have. What you put out in the mirror is what you're going to get back. Conduct is how you behave. be, have. And that gives you the construct, because everything on earth is a process of building. And building has to be broken down so that new buildings can be built. Excuse me. It's the way it works here. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a sip. Iced coffee, wonderful. So if you can hear what I'm saying in this instance, is that when you are fearful or frantic, you immobilize yourself from your potential. You disconnect from all these systems that is in operation on the earth. Everything is a process. And everything is a system that is working, and the way you dock into the system is the way that you're going to be able to enjoy the system. If you dock into the system in a way that is jarring, you are going to get annihilated, because the system is not going to entertain your inability to understand, or the need for you to be displeased, or the fact that you're not happy with what you're seeing, and it's so the injustice of it, and the poor me of it, and the doormat of me of it, and whatever you choose to put into the mirror is your choice. But you are going to have the consequences of that, and you're not going to like what you see. And then if somebody tells you, someone like me that says to you, go look at what you have done to create this for yourself, then people don't like it because it's somebody else's fault. It's my relationship with my son. It's my relationship with my mother. It was my anthem for many years. And now I don't have a mother, and now I don't have a son. And now it's no use for me to blame the past, because those two people are dead. They have no more influence in my life, and neither has the past, because the past is over. And I start with new every day. I start with nothing so that I can have everything. That's how it works here. Every day is a new life, is a new beginning. And that day requires of you to be in integrity, because you need to honor the systems of this place and to give your 100%, and to absolutely honor what you've given permission for. If you want to have a pleasant surprise, you've got to act like someone who's due a pleasant surprise. To have the right, and to be entitled, you must first look at your right. In order to have the right to be pleasantly surprised, I must first be a person that can be pleasantly surprised, because I'm nice. I hate the word nice. I don't even know why I use it this morning, because when you're nice, you pay the price. Let me spit out that word. No, it's not nice. When you are wonderful, when you are great, when you are amazing, when you are such a gift to every situation where you find yourself, that's the way to live. And in the process, you have so much fun. There's no pretense. There's no, impressing people. There's no being all things to all people. You're just having fun, enjoying yourself, how you are relating to situations, not about how other people are having fun or not having fun and what they're doing or not doing. It's how you are doing it. Because that's what Gandhi taught us. Be the change that you want to see. And everybody talks it. Well, you be the change that you want to see. No. I'm quoted left, right, and center. But who's actually doing it? Huh? We're always waiting for someone to make it happen for us. If you love me, you will. If you care for me, you will. No, thank you for caring about me to tell me the truth. That is honesty, and that's the truth. Not what you want people to hear, or what you want them to tell you what you want to hear. The real situation. The truth is that you really are not sure what will make you truly happy. That's the real issue. Because you haven't given permission for it. If you give permission for it, you at least know what it is that you're giving permission for, I trust. So your hard work, and your busyness is distracting you from realizing what you need to find inner peace. And I tell people every day of my life how hard I'm working. I'm not telling them because I want sympathy. I'm telling them because I'm working hard. But it's my place of inner peace, what I'm doing here right here with you now. This is my place of inner peace. It's what I want to do with my life. I just want to show you a mirror in which you can see some options, and then you can go and apply them or not in your life, because the result is your reward. I'm not there to see your results. If you're sitting with a true teacher, your results is going to show you, because that's your reward for the investment that you're making to sit with me. Today, people are listening to 100 podcasts a day, and everybody's offering podcasts. But which ones are changing your life? Not the flavor of the month, not the image, but the truth. The truth that tells you that your life is important and that you can no longer afford to compromise yourself by being fearful and frantic. It really doesn't suit you, you know. You are such a divine being, and you've come here to do such great things with your life. Even if you're just given one talent, you can turn it into many. Doesn't matter how much you've been given. It's what you do with it. This is a place of hierarchy. Not all of us are in the same place. And I knew a wonderful old man once. He was the driver at the place where I worked for many years. His name was Alfred. And Alfred's passed by now because he was already very old when he worked for us. And he showed me on his hand. He said, ma'am, look at God, how God created our fingers. He said, not all of the fingers are the same. Some fingers are higher in life than the other fingers. And each finger has its own function. It doesn't mean if you're this finger that you're the most important. This finger, without this finger, the hand means nothing. All of these fingers becomes absolutely useless without the thumb. So the thumb is the shortest. It's the most insignificant of the fingers. It's got the most humble presence on the hand. But it's the most significant. Because it's normally the people that don't say anything and that quietly goes about their business, making a contribution by being self-sufficient. But they're not bothersome. They don't make a nuisance of themselves. They contribute to life. And like Goethe says, if each one sweeps clean in front of his own door, the whole world will be clean. It's that simple. You just need to sweep in front of one door. And if the next person and the next person and the next person also gives their 100% by sweeping in front of their door, by being self-sufficient, in some way or another, make a contribution, life will honor you for that. It doesn't mean an eye for an eye, because then the whole world is blind. It means make a contribution according to the hierarchy in which you were given your opportunity to do so. Not all of us are the same. Yesterday, they crowned the king, and we're living in the 21st century. Do you see how we honor that on the earth? It's the way it works here. It's not right or wrong. That's hierarchy. That's authority. And you must learn to be an authority in your own life. The more you claim your authority, the more you see your authority as a right. Not a right because you have this color skin or you're born as a king, but a right because you understand how significant you are in the process. And that makes you entitled to a lot of things. Just the fact that you understand and realize and accept and embrace and integrate and be the most wonderful gift to the earth. to the whole planet. Just by the way that you be. That's all you need. It's not about catching the oil penguins in Alaska. It's not about the things that you have to do. It's about the context, how you be. And that will create your conduct, how you behave. And then you'll have a construct, a result that rewards you with castles and with titles and with whatever it is that you desire. Because there is space for everyone. There's even space for kings still on earth. And the sad part is, he doesn't want to be king. He just wants to be a royal because he has a lot of privileges. They iron his shoelaces. The king has very many needs. But when you're operating at that level, you can have your shoelaces ironed. It's really okay. I've had such a lovely morning with all of you. I didn't share half of what I've prepared because I was talking so much about all other things. But it's so important for me that everybody must please have the correct foundation. If you don't have the correct foundation, your building is going to fall down every time. You can't build 150, 200 floors on a foundation that is not stable and strong. Begin with the correct foundation and begin with the basic stuff. Don't become so clever that you overlook the basic stuff. It's going to cost you. It's the basic stuff. It's the no image. It's the humble presence. It's the I'm sharing with you out of authenticity, out of caring, out of wanting to be here. Not because I want anything for it. Because my reward is life itself. That's the reward. The result is your reward. The result is a blissful, peaceful, comfortable, easy life. A life that just makes you look forward to waking up each morning. And all you have to do is to be and to live each moment to the fullest. Because every moment you have everything is provided. You start each morning with nothing, so you can have everything. Look at the end of the day, how much you've lived in one day. Just one day. And then you start enjoying it because it's really fun. And being in a space of inner peace is wonderful. I'm almost finished. Realizing that enough is a very elusive concept. We can't even grasp the concept, never mind give it context. Realizing that enough is a very elusive concept is a big challenge for us. Because you first of all need to realize how little you get to a place of enough in your life. That since you, as far back as you know, you've never known the true feeling of enough. Good enough, I'm good enough. Because even when you get it, it still never feels enough. You're still wondering whether perhaps you're settling for too little or whether there was more and you didn't get your share. So what if there is more? Why would it not be also available for you? Why do you have to constantly fight for it? You know, I just want to read you this quickly I love this man, Wes Beavis. It's called Escape to Prosperity. It's a book I bought in America. It's a wonderful, wonderful little book. And I just want to read you this one short. It's very short. It's not 11 o'clock yet. So he says, what keeps you broke? And this is the enoughness has got very much in relation to being broke. And he calls this chapter Escape from the Thinking That Keeps You Broke. In many countries of the world, people work like slaves just to maintain impoverishment. Thankfully, here in the land of opportunity, this does not happen. Or does it? Think about this a little longer and you will realize that this is exactly what many of us do. We work relentlessly just to maintain a state of being broke. How could this be? We live in a rich, fertile land. Fertile with good things, our highest good, and the opportunity to enjoy them. In such an environment, how could you find yourself in a state of being broke? Easily, he says. We think our way into a state of impoverishment because that was our negative reinforcement since the day we were born. Negative reinforcement. And that's why you feel impoverished no matter what. And it's not just about money. Broke is not just about money. Broke is having no energy. Broke is having no zest. Broke is having no feeling for anything. Broke is feeling miserable. Broke is, oh my God, my life is so shit. Look how I'm suffering. Look how not okay I feel. Look how I'm crying. My heart is broken. Someone broke my heart because I didn't get what I wanted. That's all it is. It's not what happens to you. You just didn't get the way you want what you wanted. You didn't get the way you saw it happening. You were predicting the future. It didn't happen for you, and now you broke it because you went against the way in which it works here. This is a place of prosperity, and this is a place of richness, and this is a place of bounty. And if you are not getting your share, you better start looking at what you do, because there's no one else to blame but you. Because that's the only place where you can blame is yourself. And if you're still blaming yourself, you're a victim of your own choices. This blame and victim thing doesn't relate to other people. It begins with you. You're the one who puts it into the mirror. Life is a mirror, whether you like it or not. It's only going to give you back what you put out. What you sow, you reap. It's a creation law. If you're not going to follow it, you're going to suffer. And be my guest, you'll be annihilated. Because there'll be nothing left of you. And you'll stay broke. Who's going to invest their riches and their bounty in someone who's going to squander it? And who's going to take it for granted? And who's going to not appreciate it? Not me. Not life. Life's not interested in squandering itself. That's not how things grow. It doesn't squander itself. It preserves itself. It's very respectful about its environment because its environment, its immediate environment, is where it can grow. It's the same in nature. That's why you see little plants coming up all the time around a tree, because it's preserving its own environment. It's pushing up its own kind so that it can preserve its environment. It's the same in nature. And now you need to realize that enough is a very elusive concept for you in your life. What if there's more? There's always more. I've just explained it to you. It is in the nature of things that there will always be more. And that is the nature of growth. Excuse me. But it's important to give yourself permission to feel satisfied with what you have now, this moment, because it's enough. In this moment, you have enough. In this moment, you have enough. It's the only moment that you live. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not what you think is going to happen in the next moment. The next moment's the unknown. Nobody can predict it. You better just live now. Make peace often and accept and admit the isness of life. And I've learned that from my dear master and student, Stanley Beckett. Make peace often, and offer and offer your isness, offer your presence. That's why I don't like sharing a recording, because I want you to be present to receive the gift. You don't receive the gift through the recording. The recording is a cognitive process. You will not receive anything. It's in the one ear, out the other. You need to be present. No matter how much you want to think it's different, and how much you want to think it's working this way for you, it's fine. You can do whatever you want. But there's going to be consequences. And don't complain when you're getting consequences that shows you that you are not in the process. You are out of the process. You are against the way that things work. So it's going to push you out. It wants you to have dignity, honor, and respect for the way that creation laws functions here. It was here before you got here. You need to come and put yourself into a system, into a process, into a code, into a whatever you want to call it. That was written before you got here. So last but not least, one more point. It's important for me to send you away with this context. Be aware of the snowball effect on your thinking. Snowballs. We love playing with snowballs. But watch a snowball go down a mountain. It starts very small, and it's an avalanche by the time it gets to the bottom. And then an avalanche is not just the snow, it's the wind that comes before it. That's why Desmond Bagley calls it the snow tiger. It annihilates everything in front of it because of the wind, the force of the wind. Be aware of the snowball effect on your thinking. Notice how uptight and stressed you feel when you are caught up in your own thinking. Especially when your thinking is of lack and of not enough. And what you're going to have to do without. The FOMO effect. And how you're going to suffer because you're not going to have any. It's not true. It's the way that you have been given negative reinforcement in order to relate to your environment. The context is incorrect. The concept is the same for all of us. Every single one of us gets the same concept. It's life. But the interpretation, the context, is the meaning that you choose to give to it. And life does not interfere with that. But life is going to give you, because that's going to allow you to behave. The way you're going to behave is the way that life and everybody experiences you. And that will determine your construct. The house that you live in. Rumi writes about the house that you live in. Go see. I don't remember the quote now. So you've got to know that there is enough for you. And perhaps you convince yourself that there will never be enough for you anyway. And therefore, you are consistently displeased. And nothing satisfies you, and everything is like talk to the hand. I don't give a fuck. One thought leads to another, and yet another. And at some point, you become totally exasperated, empty. And to crown it all, you then are a place where thoughts happen, so you're not even thinking them. You've now put yourself into auto response. You know, we've got an auto for everything these days. That just thinks for you. Your GPS just auto, just thinks for you. You don't even have to think where you're going anymore. People rely so much on it they can't find their own home anymore if they don't have the GPS. They're lost in their own neighborhood. The thoughts are happening in your head right now. You're not thinking them. You are not thinking them. You only think thoughts when you're using your imagination. When you're busy with intent, when you're making the thoughts happen. The real solution here is for you to notice and be aware what's happening in your head before the thoughts in your head have a chance to build any momentum. And you get on the bus. Snowball effect. And the sooner you catch yourself in the act of building, just even actively growing your stuff, the mental snowball comes and just annihilates it. So just catch yourself now. This is a snowball. And the snowball is going nowhere. You're actively growing that mental snowball through the thoughts that are happening in your head that you're entertaining. Yes, absolutely, yes, you're right. When you can just stop the snowball, the easier it is to stop. You'll be able to stop it like that, because the bombardment of those thoughts are never going to change. That's how it works here. That's what it means to be human. Neurosis or psychosis, that's the two states that we can be in. And the card says, if I'm quoting him correctly, because I'm not a quote, I don't like to quote, and I don't know the book that it was written in, but I understood that the card says, you can never satisfy or fulfill your desires because of the driver. So that's my story for today. Just go and feel what become aware of your snowball effect in your thinking, and just feel what it does to you. Think of all your hectic to-do lists for the week, and look at the questions you're asking of yourself. How will I manage? I'm not enough. And the limiting and lacking snowballs begin to form, gathering momentum for the week. And size, the size increases at such an alarming rate, you may as well be coming down the side of Mount Everest. They're from very high up. So, you feel overwhelmed and panicked already. So mental snowballs are cold and ruthless, and it stops at nothing. So, how can such give you a sense of calm and peace that you so yearn for? Snow can be melted with warm, caring thoughts, with being good to yourself, with reassuring thoughts, and with generous thoughts, and with thoughts of praise, and with thoughts of appreciation. So that's my energizer for you for this week. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your presence here today. It was truly a pleasure to have 15 people here today. Lovely. And I'll be sending the recording to you. If you want the recording, you're welcome to request it. But I don't like to send the recording to everyone because it just gives people permission to be absent. And I want to teach them to be present. So thank you for receiving the message to be present today, because you're important.